Hey, Dr. Isaac Jones here, and I want to share with you some of the most powerful techniques for building rapport with patients online. These are things that I've learned over the last really 12 years of going virtual and being in the virtual space, and I want you ultimately to get the shortcuts to understanding these strategies to influence patients and ultimately create a movement or a tribe of people behind you that know, like, and trust you. And there are little things that really can hamper and crush your ability to connect with people and ultimately get that kind of interaction that you're ultimately looking for when you're virtual. Here's how rapport used to look like. It used to look like a patient just walking into your office and just listening to you, and because you've got a doctor in front of your name, you've got my attention, right? So rapport wasn't necessarily earned; it was given, and then there's the whole WebMD era, which was developed by my friend Jeff Arnold, who's the founder of WebMD. And ultimately, rapport was challenged, right? The doctor would say something, but then something would be conflicting online, or Dr. Oz would say something on Dr. Oz or on Oprah Winfrey or whatever. And we had this era where people, were kind of becoming awake to there's other options out there, there's other philosophies, etc. And it was a little bit more popularized because of the internet. But now you're looking at what is going on with COVID and what has happened over the last several months. And now what you're seeing is that there's a lack of trust just in the industry, right? The majority of people don't want to be vaccinated. The majority of people are horrified that there's so much censorship on social media. There's all these people that are like, oh my gosh, who can I trust, right? And ultimately, what's happened is there's been this shift of people that are looking for answers virtually and ultimately looking for an opportunity to connect with doctors virtually. In fact, what the research shows is that there's 83% of patients are looking for virtual healthcare, yet only 17% of doctors have been able to figure this whole world out. This is obviously what I do, what I coach, what I train people on to be able to be excellent in and really build an amazing empire in this virtual space. So the whole space has flipped, and a lot of patients, they want to go virtual, and this is a huge opportunity for you. But the reality is you can't just go virtual and throw up a shingle online and hope that you'll be able to build rapport just because you're a doctor, right? The reality is we don't live in that day and age anymore, and you need to show up, and you need also to follow the 7 things that I'll talk about here that will help you build rapport with the tribe that you're wanting to attract. And ultimately, you can attract these people, you can build rapport, and you can build a movement and a momentum around your brand, around who you are as a doctor, that will help you grow and scale your business. And if you want all the business systems and all of the strategies, just check out healthexpertsalliance.com, and we've got amazing resources and courses and masterminds and coaching even for that. So number 7, the 7 powerful rapport building techniques are as follows. Number 1, you need to make camera contact. You need to look at the camera. So as you can see, I've got my notes underneath the camera. They're right underneath the camera, and you can see that I'll glance, down here, and then I'll glance back at the camera, or I'll look off over here if I'm thinking about something, but I'll always come back to the camera. And one of my first health participants was actually a news anchor in Orange County, California. And she's this beautiful woman. And I would be like staring down at the camera, looking at her at the bottom of my screen. And she's like, Isaac, it looks like you're staring at my breasts. It's like, Dr. Jones, she's like, it looks like you're staring at my breasts. So I changed that. I shifted my my focus, because she's like, you got to look into the camera. And now that's what I do. You look in the camera, especially when you're creating content, but when you're connecting with people, this is a very important strategy. And you want the camera ultimately at eye level. So the other thing that I have, if you can see, I've got soft light in front of me over here, and I've got soft light over here. Now these are soft light boxes. I also have nice soft light coming in through the window, but I've actually blacked that out because it's too harsh, the light coming in. And just for videos like this, I'm just using soft light, which is cool because if it's sunny outside or if it's overcast or whatever, there's always consistent lighting, and I just keep them up. And I just have them up, throughout the day. And these are blue light blocking glasses. I don't need these glasses, but these help to block all the blue light coming in. So, again, studio lights are awesome. If you don't want to do studio lights and you just love natural light, which I absolutely love, and I do all my other calls with natural light, I bring up my blinds and I open up my French doors if it's a nice day out, and I've got an indoor-outdoor office space, and it's awesome. I can hear the birds and I get that nice outdoor light. So soft light is huge. And those soft light boxes are really really great, and you can see the nice diffuse light on my face. Now, you also want people to feel heard, which means that when you're connecting with them in a consultation, when you're connecting one-on-one, when you're in the office, people can walk in, they can see how busy you are. There's like an energy. There's something that happens within the office where they're just like, okay, this guy's got it, or this girl's got it. Like, I'm going to listen to whatever they say, or there's a certain level of professionalism there. But when you are walking into when you're walking into a situation that is all virtual, you want to really create the feeling, the emotion of them feeling heard, and really engage with them. So if they say something, you paraphrase what you heard back to them and say, is that right? Is that what I heard? And they say yes. And that does a few things psychologically. It really bridges the gap between, like, does this person really care, and does he understand where I'm coming from? And there's this unconscious psychological connection that happens between you and the patient that is very magical. But you want to make sure that you are having a really powerful dialogue. You're repeating back what you heard. And then you also want to take the non-dictatorial or Socratic approach to communication. So the Socratic approach is ultimately about, asking questions. It's about communicating through questions versus just hammering them with answers and just pulling them in the direction that you want to pull them in. So when you're communicating with them, asking powerful questions is the best way for sales to occur. It's the best way to align what their true goals are with your offering. And I obviously go way more in depth into this in my trainings in my program, but like, this is Jedi, and this is one of the reasons why we convert as a community at like 70 to 90+%, depending on where people are at, on high ticket programs and the programs that we're offering. So that's huge. And then you don't need to do what I'm doing behind me, but number 5 is create a professional background. I've just had in the past a degree in the background, and then I upgraded it with like a bookshelf and like a flower on the bookshelf with my degree, and then I got like sticky kind of logo, and I ordered it from like this logo website, and it's like a peel sticker of your logo on the wall, and I've done that in the past. And then obviously this is a really professional studio where I've invested a lot of money into the background here with uplighting and some of these other things, and had a professional come in and help me with it. But ultimately you want a nice background. Like I love all of the backgrounds of the doctors I coach and train, because it's just like, when you're connecting with them, the audio's quality, the background is super quality, the video is quality. All of these elements are dialed in, like I talked to you about. And then ultimately, number 6, you want to create an amazing experience. Again, this is something that I've invested heavily into. I invested $50,000 just for a day to learn customer experience from the #1 customer experience expert who walked me through my whole virtual practice and how I can create kind of a Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons, Amen Resort, 6 Cent Resort type experience for the people that I'm working with. And that's what I want for all the doctors. I want all of the doctors and all of your staff and your team members to embrace this 5-star virtual health center experience. Because let's face it, healthcare right now is, or what I would consider disease care, because that's what they do, is they're caring for diseases. They're not really helping people with healthcare. But when you look at traditional healthcare, it's a maybe 1 or 2-star experience. It's brutal. Now, some of the bigger corporations out there are like making an effort. Like I went in for my son to do a cardiology test on his heart, which everything is really functioning well, which is great news. But I walked in and they had like a customer service card, and you could tell that they were going above and beyond. They like opened the door for me. I've never experienced anything like it, and but you could tell that they clearly had some kind of executive in their company be like, hey, we're going to really focus on experience here. But this goes from just the way that you present yourself, the way your team presents themselves, to the emails, to the follow-up sequences, to your signature kind of experience process that we've built out in detail through an entire virtual kind of model for healthcare. But it's important to dial all that in. And then lastly, and this is something you should be able to do with flying colors in this space, is be on time. You expect them to be on time, so you better be on time as well. You are virtual, right? And so being virtual, you have the opportunity to be on time. You don't have it's not like it is in a brick and mortar where you can be like 30 minutes behind. You need to be on time every time. So show up a few minutes early if you can, and ultimately you will blow people away with all of that. And this is one of the reasons why people love working with me and all of the doctors that I coach and train, because it is a different experience. It's not like traditional healthcare. It's true healthcare. It's true concierge healthcare. And that's what I want you to learn. So the bottom line is, what are you committed to creating in your brand and in your business? And how do you ultimately want to show up that adds value to people? Because you can show up in a way that distracts from the quality of your brand and the business that you want to build, or you can show up in such a way in who you're being and the elements, the 7 elements that I talked about, which actually creates this attraction factor that gets more people to want to engage and connect with you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this added a ton of value to you, and watch out for more really amazing videos that we've got coming out that will truly help you take your brand, your business to a completely new level. Thanks so much.